Good evening, everybody. I am going to give you a little tour on what I was doing yesterday. I did a little bit of research. As you all probably know, I use a great deal of coffee grounds in my garden. And one of the things I've learned about coffee grounds, I discovered, I don't know if it was by accident, I kind of instinctively knew, because as I would lay down my coffee grounds along the garden, as you can see right there, do you see that? I love the way that looks. It looks really nice. I will lie down cardboard, and underneath the cardboard I'd lie down newspaper. Now again, I mentioned about using newspaper when you're suppressing weeds. You really want to be sure that you use newspaper that doesn't have a glossy color coating to it. If you're using it along pathways, in my opinion, I think it's perfectly fine. But if you do plan on planting in the pathways, which is what I'm planning on doing, and what I plan on planting, obviously, are edible plants. Don't use the glossy newspaper, because if you use that glossy newspaper, you're going to really deter kind of the worms. They don't like the taste of it. Leaches nasty chemicals into the soil. It's really not that good. So use that newspaper that has pretty much just the black ink on it, and that'll do just fine. It'll break down, it'll condition the soil, aerate it, and allow a lot of the nutrients to flow through freely, and also create that mycorrhizal that you really want going on inside your soil. So enough of that. But what I've been doing is I've been laying down these coffee grounds, and I discovered as I was laying these coffee grounds down, obviously during the summer you get pests that like to bug you when you're in the garden, and those pests, the number one pest I discovered is your mosquito. I don't like mosquitoes. They're like an evil gang. I don't know what's going on with these guys. They team up on you. They completely assault you, and they do not like the smell of coffee grounds. So I encourage you, use coffee grounds throughout your garden. It will benefit you, not just in the compost and not just as a soil amendment to help out your plants. One of my favorite channels is the Nakid Gardener, and him and his wife. Fantastic couple. These two are lovely, lovely people. You've really got to take a look at their channel. I'll do my best to put the link to their channel below in the description. So I laid these coffee grounds down. Another thing I discovered about coffee grounds, they don't just deter pests like mosquitoes and other bugs you don't want hanging out, but they will also deter these guys. You see these little guys? Now, they won't deter them like mosquitoes where they will just go away. They will deter them from using your garden/food forest as a litter box, because cats are destructive creatures. Don't let them fool you. They are very self-absorbed animals, but I love them. And so they will not go near coffee grounds. They don't like the smell of them. And I discovered that when I would put them right here, let me zoom back out. There we go. They stopped using this area right here as a litter box. I was like, fantastic. So I went ahead and did that as well. You can also lay down just cardboard, because cats want to be able to dig up a hole and bury their waste. And if you have cardboard lying around the paths, they won't do that. They won't be able to, use it as a litter box. So that's what I've been using the coffee grounds for. And I can guarantee you, go to any coffee shop, any Starbucks, any mom and pop coffee shop, and they will be more than happy to give you all of their coffee grounds. And the best part about that is it does not go to landfill, because landfills suck. Sorry about the language. Another thing I did yesterday was I deadheaded, as I said I would, all my zinnias. And I gave them an aggressive deadheading. And zinnias, from what I've learned, are a plant that's pretty much self-sufficient. They really know how to take care of themselves. They just need a little bit of attention and supervision. But other than that, you want to just leave them alone. Give them a little watering, obviously feed them some nutrients, but they pretty much will do everything on their own. Deadhead them regularly, and they'll produce these wonderful blooms. This one I deadheaded. The one over here, I'm going to zoom in. I deadheaded yesterday as well. All aggressive deadheading I did. Right there. The beast next to it to the right, that's the morning glory plant. If you've watched the other videos I've posted, you will notice how much this thing has grown. And it's like its own little tiny ecosystem in there. It's really fantastic. And as the summer draws to an end, these will start to bloom these wonderful, amazing floral blue and purple blossoms on them, and it'll be all over that. It'll just look like a tree of actual enchantment. It's just amazing. Over here, more zinnias. I left a couple that didn't need really deadheading, just so I kept a little bit of color in there. And did an aggressive deadheading on those. Let's pan over this way as well. And I did another aggressive deadheading on this zinnia plant right here. And this is right underneath the cat cave. These are my domestic cats. They live in the house. They don't come outside. So this is called the cat cave. They've got a whole entire room to themselves. I'll do another video on that because there's some things I want to do in there for them. But since their litter pans are in there, when I'm able to open up the windows when the weather drops and I don't need the air conditioning, these plants down at the bottom, the intent is to plant plants that produce a great deal of fragrance and potentially you can eat. Because I want as many things in the garden that you can just eat. Not just look at, not just for aesthetic appearance, but for nutritional value as well. So that's what this is. And I need to really tame this thing. And I learned this. Oh my, I'll put his channel in the description below as well. And he's from Australia, I believe. Excuse me, correction, he's from New Zealand. And his channel is called Self-Sufficient Me. And this gentleman, he is absolutely a joy to listen to and watch. Just having him show up on the screen, you will automatically start to smile. He is a fantastic individual. You'll love this man. Very good man. I love it. Right here, I've got some zinnias growing in this one. No, excuse me, not zinnias, marigolds. And that's a marigold plant. This thing that's grown like a meter high. And one of the things I've learned about marigolds is that you kind of want to, and I learned this from the Nakid Gardener channel. Again, I'll put his link in the description below if I'm able to. But one of the things I learned from his channel was that you can actually clip the top off a little bit. Because if you don't, this is how tall they will get. And it becomes slightly unruly and you've got to stake them. It's not too bad. You just want to get those blooms as fast as humanly possible. And encourage it to grow out laterally instead of vertically. So that's a fantastic tip. Thank you, Nakid Gardener channel. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I want to show you this over here. These melons are growing. Now, one of the things I did yesterday is I clipped one because it had a strange color to it. And what I'll do is I'll show you that melon after I give you this little tour of what's going on inside the garden. And you tell me what's up, okay? Because it had a really strange color to it, and I was afraid that it was going off or something. It kind of hurt clipping it because something told me I probably shouldn't have done that. You know what, you learn, and this is one of the things about gardens and about food forests and about even getting into permaculture or horticulture or anything like that, is that you learn so much. So never get discouraged, guys. If you've made a mistake, it's only a learning experience because just like what you're doing inside the garden, you're growing and you're learning. So it's always fantastic. Now, if you remember this over here, this beast, which has really sprawled out over this way, this is the winter squash. And the winter squash, it looks really bad, but believe it or not, I think it's drawing to a close because I told you I had 2 squashes growing. Let me take a look. I'm going to try to move this out of the way. I'm going to give you a good look at this, okay? And right there, this one, you got this one right here, right there. And there's that second one. It's hiding underneath all these vines. There's that second one right there. But as I was going through the garden, I discovered something. And if I can find it, I just spotted it just a moment ago. There it is. There's another one right there. Do you see it? Right there. Very happy to see that. Now, another thing I discovered was that my summer squash, because this is the winter squash, if I said that correctly, this is the winter squash. The summer squash, I could not find if it was producing at all. And I was like, God, I wonder what I did wrong here. Now, something tells me I planted them too close together. And what I planted them in just wasn't sufficient enough for them to produce the way I would want them to, or the way they would want to, in fact. So I'm going to go around here and show you that one actually fruited. And I was really excited about that. Let me show you. And it's hiding right back here. Now, here is the summer squash, that one over there that you saw, the 2 fairly mature fruits on it. That's your winter squash. The summer squash has a fruit. I'm very happy. I don't care if it's just one fruit. There's another one I just discovered right now back there, but it looks like it got some blossom end rot on it. That's not good. And I believe blossom end rot's that it's not taking off enough nutrients, particularly minerals. So I have to probably throw some potash in there. It's kind of like wood ash. and that will help draw it up and give it a proper watering. But I know next time, when I do plant my summer squash, and I think I still got enough time in the season to potentially try a go at one more plant. So I might just pull this one, depending on what happens. I did a pruning on it, and I discovered that you can actually do a pruning on these. I was worried that you couldn't, but I learned that from Self-Sufficient Me channel. And his name is Mark, by the way. Oh, by the way, I just saw this. The winter squash has another fruit right there. So technically, I believe there are 4 to 5 fruit on this plant. But it seems to be doing rather well, because look at what it's done over here. It's sprawled out. And I've learned my lesson. Really give these guys space, because they want space. They want a lot of space. I just discovered another fruit. Oh my goodness. They are doing one of those massive explosions that you get. Those first 2 fruit on the summer squash. I just saw this right now, guys. Seriously, you're discovering this with me right now. Those are 2 brand new. Those weren't the previous ones. The previous ones are right below it. I just discovered that right now. And they're right... I'm going to see if I can zoom in for you. I'd have to go around. But there they are, the 2 original ones right there. Because I was wondering why the ones I just showed you were quite small. I was like, wait a minute, weren't those larger? Well, there they are. Look at that, right there. Can you believe that? Oh, God, I get really excited. You have no idea. To me, this is just phenomenal. So, continuing on, because I can get really distracted and I can ramble. I want to show you this melon over here. It seems to be doing all right. It's looking absolutely gorgeous. Nothing has attacked it. There are ants on top of it, so I've got to keep an eye on this. Because ants can be very notorious about getting into your fruits. And if there's a blemish or a crack or anything like that, that is just open season on your vegetables and your fruit. But I can't wait to bite into that melon, because I grew some, like, I believe it was 2 seasons ago. If you go back through my YouTube channel, you'll catch I was able to harvest about 3 to 4 of them, no less than 2. And I think I probably saw another one. Nope, that's not it. That's just a leaf that's kind of gone yellow. But this seems to be doing relatively fine. I mean, it's really lush, very green. And I think the biggest reason is that it's had the shade from this zinnia and this unfamiliar plant that I cannot define for you. But these will pop up all over the place here in Texas. And it's being devastated by something. Something's having a great time at it, which I don't mind. Because these are everywhere. I mean, whatever's eating it, eat that. Don't eat my flowers. Don't eat my food. Continuing on. Did not prep this bed yet. I was supposed to prep this bed. I still have not done it. But I will get to that. And I'm praying I can get that today. No later than tomorrow is the plan. Oops. And I went ahead and deadheaded this zinnia as well. Lots of zinnias throughout the garden. So many zinnias. And I can tell you right now, all the zinnia plants that you've just spied here or seen, they are all volunteers. Complete volunteers. I did not reseed them. They reseeded on their own. And if they pop up, and if you're comfortable with the location, once flowers like that reseed on their own, just protect them. You know, mulch around them. Make sure nothing's attacking them. Watch out for these guys. There's one left. Look at that little turd right there. I can't help but to love them. Anyways, let's go on and continue on really quick. I went ahead and put more coffee grounds down this way on this path. And you know, one of the things you're in life is you're learning so many things. I really wish I would have had the wherewithal to start a channel earlier when I moved into this house, because this entire backyard, and I'm guessing it's just shy of 1/4 of an acre, maybe a little bit less, but it was just a big giant football pitch, you know. It was like a giant plot, and that's it. And it would constantly grow and have weeds all over it. It was like a jungle and a mess. And I thought, there's no bloody way I'm going to go ahead and continue to pay a lawn service to come in and take care of this. It would set me back, just in the backyard alone, easily, what, $100, $125 a month? All right? And that's not including the front yard, which now my neighbor cuts for me because he gets free produce. It's a great trade, trust me, because I will have more than enough food for them, especially with the ending of this season coming up, the summer season, and the winter season is approaching, the fall. You're going to be able to grow massive amounts of brassicas, which is like your Swiss chard and your kale and your broccoli and your cauliflower, things like that. Those are all your brassicas, and they love cooler weather. You can grow some in warmer weather, but you've got to be a little selective because otherwise they bolt. But I can't wait because I got in the mail some New Zealand spinach, and I haven't grown that before yet, so I'm going to grow that along with the long neck spinach and the short round leaf spinach. That's going to be delicious. I love spinach, and I prefer it raw. I haven't been too much of a fan of spinach being cooked unless it's put into something like a quiche, you know. So let's go on over here. There was something else I wanted to show you. I don't know if you remember when I took a cutting from some of the tomato plants that I've been growing in these 5-gallon fabric pots. But I told you I was going to pull this one right here, brandywine tomato. Brandywine tomato in the 5-gallon. I think I'll leave this one, but I think I might have to clip that off. And right now I do not expect any fruit from these. This is more of a learning experience for me. And the upside to it is that, you know what, if it does fruit, that's great. If it doesn't, that's still great, because I can go ahead and just take this, compost it, and the soil inside here, after I remove the wood chip mulch here, right here, the soil inside there can be reconstituted again. You can throw a little bit of coffee grounds in it, some organic fertilizer, and it's all brand new again. You can mix in some fresh broken down compost, and that will really improve the soil all over again, and you're not having to purchase more at your big box stores, because those big box stores, you're really not sure what you're getting inside those. Create your own soil as much as humanly possible, and once you've established your garden and your food forest, you know, it'll just go ahead and take care of itself. So I'm going to pull that one as well. But I want to show you this. Hello, see, there they go. And it's funny how these little rug rats, because I call them the rat pack, they run from me. But the moment they're hungry, they're so demanding. Oh well. Anyways, this is the peppermint stick zinnias right there. There's that one that I told you got leggy. Right there. I'm going to more than likely pull that one. And then reuse the soil as always. And here, right here, I've got your crackerjack marigolds in that one. Those are kind of the shorter ones, not the ones that grow that so tall like you saw the one back before, that was like 1 meter high, which is like 3 feet, you know. But I can't wait to see what these do, and I'm hoping that they grow relatively fast and then get some blooms on them before the season's out, which I'm sure they will. And of course, I've got a variety of different flowers I'm going to be planting for the new season coming up when the weather cools down, which is like your phlox. I've got an ornamental phlox seed that I got like 2 seasons ago, and I grew one indoors. And oh boy, guys, you have no idea how beautiful that thing turned into. It was like a prize flower. It created this big, huge bloom, like it came from a bulb almost. It was fantastic. Oh, look at this. We've got some more habaneros. And I've been harvesting these regularly, and they've just been continually producing. It's fantastic. I can create my own spicy food dishes now and whatnot. These are fantastic. Let's continue on really quick. I am planning on putting some more coffee grounds down on these paths. As you can see, there's some cardboard here too. Stop the rat pack from using it as a litter pan, which is what they love to do. Oh dear. And then I did the compost, as I said I would. And right now, it's about at 50 degrees Celsius, right? Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like at 48.8 Celsius degrees, which is like 120 degrees right now. There we go. So it's quite warm in there. And guys, I can tell you right now, compost, depending on what you have in there, like turkey manure, horse manure, cow manure, and other organic material and greens in there, can get so hot that if you put your hand in there without protection, you can actually burn yourself. Temperatures can get as high as 150 degrees. 150 degrees, that's like 60 degrees Celsius. That's ridiculous, you know? So you really want to not stick your hand right inside a hot compost. That kind of hurts. But I want to give you a kind of a span here from the back of the compost section of the garden. Look at that. Boom. Look at that area right there. When it starts to rain more come the fall, that's going to fill up rather well. Along the edge of that, look, I'm carving it, I'm tracing it. You see the edge right there? on the inside of that, that's going to really fill up, and it's going to be like a pond, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to draw another life. Mosquitoes won't be around as much. They don't like the cold weather, so it's going to be nice to have a little bit of a temporary pond from time to time. I'm looking to relatively down in the not too distant future, that is, I want to try to put a form of an organic liner in there that I can place that will suppress the weeds but allow the water to stay much longer, and then put kind of a retaining wall system up right here along the edge like this, right around, going around a crescent shape, continuing on. Look at that. Do you see that? And so what I'm going to do is I want to put kind of a retaining wall. Now, the only reason why you see those bricks there is that I was just using them as a measuring system there. Because again, I told you this in one of the other videos, I'm kind of digging a ditch in this area of it, so the water can just kind of continue to flow down that way, because there's a tendency to pool up right here. But I did raise up this bank area, and to give you an idea of where this, give you a sense of location, this is where the backside of those morning glories. Look at that, they're growing along rather well too. But I wanted to give you all a current update, let you know what's going on. I'm constantly working. I've been putting in the time, the energy, the effort, the work. It's been glorious. If you ever want to get in shape, create a mini food forest on a 1/4 acre of land, just shy, maybe in 1/8 acre. And I assure you, you will get in shape. Eat from that garden as well, because you'll get all the nutrients you want. If you can grow rice and corn, you'll get some carbohydrates. Potatoes will give you carbohydrates as well, so that way you can get some decent calories. But there you go.